So here we are, KO Nation Podcast, episode number 36. Big fight coming up tomorrow in UFC, and we're going to cover it. So check it out. We're going to talk about it in one moment. So hey there, everybody. Looking forward to this event. I have to admit, I'm not the biggest UFC fan or MMA fan, but this is a huge fight for the heavyweight division in UFC. It features main event features John Bones Jones, facing Cyril Gane. I think that's that's the way you say his name. But we're gonna just get right into it. Some information about the weigh-in which occurred today. Both fighters, pretty big guys. Jones is 26-1 with one no contest, which essentially that wasn't a real. It was a disqualification. The loss that you see on there. He weighed 248 pounds, and Gane, he's from France. He's 11-1. He weighed 247 pounds. If you don't know anything about the Frenchman, he fought former champion Francis Ngannou, and Francis Ngannou was stripped of the title, UFC. Francis Ngannou beat Gane, and then after that fight, he had some contract issues with UFC. He didn't re-sign. He's expected to potentially box for some unknown reason, but I'm sure he figures he can make a lot more money in crossover fights that he can in UFC, because as many of us know, UFC don't pay their fighters a lot of money. They kind of jack them as far as the percentages goes. They take most of the cash and they kind of leave the crumbs for the fighters, in my honest opinion. But we're gonna actually go on to look at some of the odds for this fight, and just to check that out real quick, let me share the screen here. Just give me one moment, and I'm gonna pull up this other window here. This is from UFC.com, so obviously this information is pretty credible. John Jones, 165 minus 165 favorite. Cyril Gane is plus 140. Obviously, Gane. Well, not obviously, but Gane is the natural heavyweight. John Jones is moving up. John Jones actually has been extremely inactive, but many consider him one of the best UFC fighters of all time. I would probably give that to Anderson Silva. There's probably a couple other guys that are up there as far as being the best of all time in MMA. So John Jones only slightly a favorite, and I think that's because of the factors that I just mentioned. You know, he hasn't been too active in the last few years. He's had some personal problems. Gane's a natural heavyweight, big, strong fighter, but John Jones, well-schooled, well-skilled. The weight is interesting because Jones, I'm assuming that's the heaviest he's ever going to be fighting at. So it should be extremely interesting to see how this fight goes. But obviously, you know, I'm not the biggest follower of MMA, but I do know quite a bit about it because I do shoot some video for some jiu-jitsu stuff. I have followed the sport in and out, but I would say I'm a much bigger expert on boxing. So anybody wants to give their thoughts on this fight, you know, leave your comments, you know, in the chat. Or in the comment section, I'm sorry. This is just an impromptu show. I just want to make sure, you know, for some of my subscribers, let them know that this is for you. Some of you guys might be huge MMA fans, and I want to make sure that at least I give a little bit of analysis on it, and then hopefully after the fight, if I get to check that out tomorrow, I'll do a post fight on that and possibly some post-fight analysis on some of the boxing that's coming up this weekend, which is WBC. I believe it's an interim title fight between Mark Magsayo and Brandon Figueroa. That's going to be on Showtime, so that should be a pretty good fight as well. So a lot of combat sports action this weekend. As everybody knows, UFC they stack their cards, so I'm just kind of browsing real quick if there's anything that jumps out at me, but I'm just not familiar with any of these names on here. So but if you get the pay-per-view, more power to you. The main event should be an excellent fight. There's a lot of intrigue there just because of John Jones's inactivity. And if John Jones ends up winning, would there be a chance to possibly sign Ngannou to another contract to make that fight? That remains to be seen. But that being said, just wanted to do a quick preview of Jones and Cyril Gane. If I have to make a prediction, and I kind of want to throw this in there, if Stephen A. Smith can make predictions on boxing, I can do it on MMA. So that being said, I'm going with John Bones Jones to win a 5-round unanimous decision. And I don't think he's going to knock him out, but he's got a great ground game. He just knows how to control distance, range. Just a better schooled fighter than Gane. But obviously, my knowledge of him as a fighter is very limited. So, I'm just kind of going with the odds makers here, -165. Difficult fight to make a wager on, but if you had to put money, I think with those odds, you could put them on John Jones and feel pretty comfortable that you're going to make a little bit of a profit. So that being said, thanks. Episode number 36 of KO Nation Podcast. We just did a little short preview of UFC 285.